welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. And our guest today is Ashley. So, Ashley, if you want to go ahead and tell us what you do and where you live.
My name is Ashley Pineiro, and I'm a fashion designer from New York City.
Awesome. So, how did you get your job?
So I've been working in the fashion industry for almost 10 years now. And at the time, I was actually doing more freelance and my own things, but it was getting a little too overwhelming for me. So I found a position in menswear. So it was completely different than what I've done in the past because I come from a women's wear background, and I thought, well, this is a great way for me to learn something new and challenge myself and make something out of it. But now I'm actually leaning more towards going back to doing my own thing again. And I also just started my own swimwear brand. So I'm juggling between working a full-time menswear fashion design job and creating this new business in swimwear.
So, what gave you this idea to start your own swimwear brand?
So I am Filipino and Puerto Rican, and if you know anything about the Philippines and Puerto Rico, it's filled with beaches and it's summertime all year round. And so that really inspired me. It's just like my upbringing, the culture. I really like the idea of summer being about bright colors and patterns. And I wanted something that was going to represent my culture and have a story with my brand, not just like create these pieces and not really have anything to back it up in terms of being something relatable to people more so than just, an aesthetic.
So, what's the story behind it? I mean, I think it's a big challenge. There's so many different brands. Like, what separates your brand and what makes it better than your competition, for example?
Well, I wanted to make sure that my swimwear is multifunctional and has a lot of details in it. So I've added a lot of beading, and I have pieces that are either reversible or can be worn multi ways. So, for example, I have a swimwear top that can be worn over 34 different ways and combinations. So I feel like just having that kind of separates me also because a lot of times you just see a classic silhouette, and I wanted something that's different that someone would want to wear because they're confident in their body and they probably like to travel and want to pack light, so this gives them the creative aspect of having one piece of clothing and being able to wear it in different combinations.
Awesome.
Cool. So, by the way, what do you think your company, what are your goals and where your company will be in next 6 months?
In the next 6 months, well, right now everything is done by myself. I'm the only person working on this brand right now. It's self-funded. I created my own logo. I try to create my own website. I'm the one sewing the pieces, creating the everything basically is by myself. So within the next 6 months, I plan to find a manufacturer, be able to produce more pieces, and have a better website. I think just be able to funnel things and have it more organized. Yeah, that's definitely what I plan to have in the next 6 months.
So, do you have plan to sell these swimsuits worldwide or just in some particular area?
Oh, I certainly want to sell this worldwide. Absolutely. As of right now, the quantities are very small. Everything is made to order, and everything has been through personal one-on-one conversations when it comes to orders. But I do want to work with retailers to do private label, and I do want to be able to expand and just be able to tell my story to a wider audience and not just be a local designer. I want to use this platform as a way to basically have a voice for myself, have a voice for what I value, because this is more than just fashion design. Fashion design to me is simply my art medium, but it also goes hand in hand with the person I am, the stories I want to tell, and how I inspire people.
Good. So, what would be your biggest exciting moment, like immediately?
The
Yeah, go ahead.
exciting thing right now is that I was able to showcase my collection during Miami Swim Week. And as a startup company, that's pretty big. A lot of times, designers don't really do fashion shows until they're very well established. So the fact that I was able to showcase my work and my talents and on such a different platform than just social media, I thought that was really great, really interesting. And um, I'm not from the Miami area, so it was a great way to network with people from other places.
So how did you get that opportunity to showcase at Miami? It was you said Miami Fashion Week, right?
Yes. So I was fortunate enough to get this position to showcase through this company called Fusion Fashion Events. They're known for producing fashion shows in Florida. Um, and I actually knew someone who was working for that company. And I also do some live streaming, so through live streaming, I was able to raise capital to fund this opportunity.
Wow, that's amazing. So when you were at this Fashion Week show, did you have a lot of people come to you or come up to you at the show or after the show and want to buy your swimsuits?
Yes, I was able to make some orders right away. Actually, I was really surprised how fast everything has been moving along since, because Fashion Week, this actually happened the first week of July, which was only about 2, 3 weeks ago. So I didn't expect there to be so much traction, but it got people really excited. I didn't really tell anyone within my circle about it until I shared it on my social media pages, and that also helped because I'm typically the type of person that keeps things very private. But this was like an access to what I do on my own, separate from all the other experiences through corporate fashion or through other brands. Like this was me.
That's awesome. So in terms of live streaming and social media in general, what platforms have you seen get the most traction for you?
I would say the most traction for me is actually the live streaming platform. It's called Beagle Live, and through there I'm able to live stream and share everything. And I've only been doing it for less than a year now. It's going to be a year in August, and I have already almost 20,000 followers, and I've had almost up to 5,000 viewers in one single live, which is really big numbers
Yeah.
compared to the type of views I get from other platforms such as TikTok or Instagram. And the thing is, this app, I don't feel like it's known the way these other platforms are known, but it's given me the most growth.
Well, Bigger is a big setup, a very big company, and Bigger is very famous for the for the live streaming. So, but yeah, many people are on Instagram, like they are more handy towards Instagram probably. So yeah, that's good. So is there something that is simply non-negotiable for you to uh get one step ahead in your business?
I think a non-negotiable for me is that I really want to stick to what my values are. Um, Something that came up during Miami Swim Week was my models that were chosen for the show. I was told they weren't skinny enough, they weren't tall enough. And for me, I can understand why someone would feel or think that way because of the way the industry already is. But I want to change those old traditional way of thinking and provide more inclusivity. And so I could have easily been like, yes, you're right. I could use skinny tall models, but instead I told them like, this is not my vision. I want to stick to what is true to me. And so that's really important to me, being able to stick with what is my truth and what my values are. And also part of that is having ethics that you don't really see so much in fashion. Everyone is about mass producing and quick turnovers. And I want to come from a place that helps people rather than, like using factories that are not really the most ethical. I want to be sure everything that I do as a business is more sustainable, more ethical, inclusive. Those are like really big when it comes to my values on starting a business.
That's awesome. So in terms of factories, you mentioned ethical factories. Like what specifically are you looking for when you're looking now for manufacturers? Like what do they have to have? Because I've never worked with manufacturing. I'm not 100% sure what they would have to be considered ethical if they're like, be in the US or not in the US. Like what does that look like?
Well, as of right now, I've been communicating more so with manufacturers that are in America, um, that are local to my area, just so I can see what they're doing in person rather than just being told word of mouth, like, this is what we do. Also, what's important to me is the fabrication, whether the fabrication is sustainable and not just in terms of it being like organic, because silk is organic, but what a lot of people don't know is like these fabrics actually aren't even the most sustainable. They are still harming the animal to create this fabric. So it's things like that, knowing what type of fabrication is being used, knowing the process that is being done when they create the pieces. And yeah, location is very important too.
Okay, great. So, do you think once you go one step ahead, you will be able to manage all the things by yourself, or you will be going to hire more employees, more companies, where they will be giving you different services like handling your tech side, handling your SEO, handling your social media, sort of all these things. What's in your mind?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's really important to build a community that shares your vision. I would love to hire people. I would love to teach people as well. I want people on my team who are passionate about what they're doing to grow together. I don't think this is just a personal endeavor for me. As of right now, it is very much a solo journey, because of financial reasons, because I'm still so brand new. But absolutely, I would love to build a community for myself. I would love to hire people. I would love to learn from others and see what they can provide. And also, I think automation is very important when it comes to having a business, because you can't really do everything yourself. You really can't. Despite how much you think you can, there's someone who can, you know, offer so much more help.
So, are you looking for some investment, by the way, where you can give some shares, equity, and against it, are you looking for some investment?
Yes, I would love. Yes, yes, yes. Investors are very important to me. That is something I'm currently looking into right now. Um, I just want to be a little more established as a brand prior to just having someone offer me something just because I feel like I don't want to make the wrong decision and work with someone who's just going to exploit me or make this about profit gains.
Sure. Yeah. So
Because,
yeah, go ahead.
oh, go on.
No, I was just going to ask you because so you're in fashion, right? I'm just curious in terms of trends, like we're always thinking of technology. Are you guys utilizing AI? Have you looked at AI at all, either for your business or just in general? Like, have you seen that as a trend in the fashion space?
Yeah, actually, I've been looking into some AI. What I've been doing is been using Midjourney to feed my sketches to the AI bot to see what ideas it can feed back to me. And it's really interesting the sort of things they're able to give back to me. I've also been using AI to automate graphic banners and email marketing and things like that. But um, it's still so new to me. And it's just more so like if I have an idea, I'll just feed it to the AI robot to see what I can get back. It's still like learning my designs and how I want things set up. So it's a lot of trial and error, I would say, because I still need to tweak things. I still need to review everything. So I would love one day for the AI robot to know exactly what it is that I'm looking for without having to do any editing on top.
Okay, you're using Midjourney for now to generate the images out of your textual concept.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you can generate the concepts of your dress like the swimsuits as well out of it, and you can even get the photo shoot of your products.
Yeah, exactly. More so creating patterns for me. So I'll tell them like what my collection is inspired with. So I'd be like, create for me a repeat pattern, a seamless repeat pattern of ocean creatures with these colors, and then it'll show some stuff, but I still need to tweak it a lot of times on like Photoshop or Illustrator or like a lot of times there's areas where it looks distorted, so things like that. But yes, I've been able to use it not so much for creating silhouettes, but more so like patterns and prints and seeing what it looks like on different models.
No, that's awesome. So in terms of, um, you're talking earlier about manufacturing in New York, right? How much more expensive is that compared to manufacturing overseas? I'm sure it's you're looking at ethical companies, you want to see it yourself, but it's probably much more expensive, even though it is higher quality, more ethical.
It is certainly a lot more expensive than outsourcing in another country, let's say like China or somewhere in Asia. I have communicated with manufacturers in other parts of the world, and they certainly give me better rates than what I'm getting here in New York. But I just feel like I can have more of a trust with these local companies. And because it's within my vicinity, I work in the garment district already, and I can use my free time to just walk across the street and talk to these factories, see what equipment they're using. I was able to do that last week with a new textile company that just moved in across the street from my job. So it's really exciting to be able to touch the fabrics without having to wait weeks before getting it, without having to pay a shipping cost just for a few swatches. So it does balance off a little bit because despite the fact that I would be paying less for something outsourced, I'm not wasting my time. You know, I can be sure this is what I want before making that purchase. So I think that's also something that's not really credited for, but I think it's definitely a benefit, you know. Despite the fact that it's more expensive, I still have this benefit where I'm saving time and I don't need to make a decision until I see that final piece
For sure. So
in
as
person. Yeah.
for sure. So I guess as of right now, what is like your number one priority like at this moment for your business?
I want to have a better website. Absolutely. I want to be able to start putting product photos on my website. Have a better user experience when it comes to making orders. And just streamline that better.
Sure. So I guess in terms of your website, user experience, like what would you really want to see that, if a user goes on there, like what kind of experience would they want to have that'd be really ideal in your mind?
I want them to be able to see what's available in terms of the products, how to buy it. I get a lot of questions on, oh, when are you going to launch? What do the pieces look like? And it's not until they reach out to me personally that I'm showing them what the products are. I'm telling them how to purchase. Like, it's so much easier to just go on the website, see what products are available, add it to your cart, and then I just get a notification and go from there.
Oh, for sure. So I guess if we're going to have this conversation again in about 2 or 3 years from now, what are things going to look like for your business?
I think in 2 or 3 years, I'll have a team. I'll have a website that shows my products, that has a better user experience. I think in 2 to 3 years, I won't be working this full-time job, but working for myself. And I would like to be in more fashion shows in 2 to 3 years.
That's awesome. So, I guess what advice do you have for somebody that is thinking about making the jump, starting something like starting their own business? I know that you've done this not that long ago. You started, but like, what advice do you have to somebody who has like afraid to start something?
Well, I will say this. I was not ready to start this business. And what really jump started this business was the opportunity to show at Miami Swim Week. So my advice to others who want to do this is to just go for it. You don't need to have everything ready, but as long as you start, then you can just pick up the pieces from there. And I think it's a lot easier to do things that way than to just waiting until that perfect moment to start.
100%. So, just to wrap, if somebody wanted to look and see, look at your swimwear or find your products, where could they find you today?
They can find my products on Instagram. So the name of my Instagram page is House of Ladera. And I'll be posting most of my products through there. And I'm also setting up my Instagram page so that when you look at the product, you'll be able to actually purchase it directly from Instagram.
That's awesome. Well, Ashley, we're rooting for you, wishing you the best of luck. Thank you so much for joining, and hopefully we can have that conversation in a couple of years. Well, your business will be, like in the millions, and you'll be very successful. So
thank you so much. Thank you. Hopefully it'll be less than 2 years from now.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, hopefully even sooner. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
All
for your
right.
time. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Have a
Bye.
good night.
Bye bye.